Awesome.
It's been so long. Oh my
It's been
gosh.
so long since I've seen you. Uh, so I'm Kate with But Why Though Ryan. It's amazing to talk to you one-on-one and get some time to dive into more about Denji because
Yeah.
I got questions.
Hit me.
Mainly, I wanted to know. So Denji, and we've talked a little bit in our previous interview about capturing that like kind of erratic, carefree nature, but Denji also has really solemn moments too. He has moments where he kind of comes back to the ground and realizes, oh, this dream that I thought was gigantic, that didn't feel as gigantic when I got it. And I wanted to know what goes into crafting the two opposite ends of who Denji is
Hmm.
vocally, something that's very visceral and something that's very I don't think thoughtful is the right opposite to that, but yeah, I don't know
No, well,
if that
I
makes
don't
sense.
think that's not wrong. I think he is very thoughtful. I think he's very deep. It's just he
Yeah.
doesn't have the ability to express that in a way that people who are educated do. You
Yeah.
know, what I love about him and playing him, from the first episode when you first meet him, he's literally scooped out, multiple organs. Like
Yeah.
he is not 100% in any way. He's literally
Yeah.
missing parts of his body and his soul, and he is so beaten down. And a lot of people have come to know this character to be very big and brash and all of this stuff, but that comes from confidence of experience and growth and all of that in seeing the world for the first time as it opens up. But in those first moments in that first episode and in his most introspective places, I think he's a lot more to himself and softer, and especially very broken in the beginning.
Yeah.
We intentionally wanted him to go on a journey as you follow him and see him discover himself. And I think that that's like a really fun thing to play, as someone entering the world for the first time. It's like playing a newborn.
Yeah. One of the other things that I really wanted to note about your performance too is just how you nail like the action sounds.
Thank you.
And it is so amazing to kind of hear it as a viewer. What is it like to, bring that out? And it must be really stressful on your voice, but
It's so much fun.
okay, yeah.
It's so much fun. I mean, it's one of those things where like that's where you really feel like a kid in a candy store. Thankfully, I come from a background of like singing and screaming in hardcore bands and stuff, so I've learned how to do it. I've screwed up before when I was younger, and definitely had some things that I've had injuries and stuff, but I've learned how to safely scream and all of that, and I know my threshold. And Mike, who is our voice director, is amazing and incredibly protective of me, and we really try and really navigate those scenes like intellectually before
Yeah.
we just do them. And that way we can do them less, we just do them once or twice, just go for
Yeah.
it. And it's really like we kind of just discuss it, and then it's like, all right, and let the like you just let the gate open and I just go for it. And a lot of the time, immediately after a take, I will just crack up laughing, because it's this cathartic energy, and I don't even know what to do with it when I'm done.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll go through these huge moments and then I just burst into laughter. So it's pure joy.
I think one of the other questions I've always wanted to know, like as coming in and doing a dub in English, do you take any inspiration from the Japanese seiyuu, or do you really try to put up a partition and create this character in your own way? Like what goes into that dynamic? Because it seems like a very interesting relationship, bringing to life the same character.
I think what it comes down to is it's less about trying to do sit in the same space that the Seiyu is sitting in, and
Yeah.
more about us both sitting in the space for Denji.
That's a
I think
beautiful way to describe that.
because that's the intention, is
Yeah.
it's not about anyone mimicking or doing anything like that. It's both of us trying to be genuine and true to the character. And the moments and the conversations and all of the scenes that play out, they are asking things of us as actors versus us deciding. We are making minute choices as performers based on what this character is asking of us. And it's more of a thing where I think both of us, I can't speak necessarily,
Yeah.
but speaking, on my own thing, it is just an honor to be able to tell a story through a character that is so special and so unique, and it's really just about letting Denji be the guide.
Yeah. How, when it comes to bringing characters to life in general or Denji, how do you maintain a faithfulness to the character as they are written, but also like change them I don't know, sorry, I don't know how to phrase this. Like every performance seems very very subtly unique to the performer that's doing it.
Mm.
And there's a certain life that you all bring to it, and I've seen it in Chainsaw Man so far as well, where like, yes, this is the Denji on the page, but this is also a Denji I haven't seen before. What
Oh,
goes
that's
into
so
making
cool.
those types of choices of, I would say, like injecting yourself into parts of characters?
I think part of it is probably inherently just by nature of, if you took 10 people that who could cook and you gave them the same recipe, it
Yeah.
would still taste different. I think that's
Yeah.
just kind of what it comes down to. And I think it's a matter of like, even though this character is asking all of these specific things of you, I think put a different actor in this space and you're going to get their little take on it versus someone else's little take on it. There's always something that
Yeah.
unique is there. And for me, um we kind of touched on it. It's, as much as we all love Denji for being raw and honest and just this pure ball of like enthusiasm and chaos, and but to me the depth of him is what's so special, and it's the inability to express it in the way that he wants to, that is
Yeah.
just purely why he's so raw. But I think he's just such an incredibly deep character, and for me that's the stuff that I'm so attracted to. So I try to let that be the thing that guides my performance in the big and small moments. Because I think even in the crazy, chaotic moments, it's desire. It's what
Yeah.
is his desire.
And it really comes through. So thank you for all your
Oh
work
gosh,
on
thank
him.
you, thank you.
My last question is really, do you have any advice that you'd give to people looking to start either start voice acting careers or not sure, maybe too scared to take a role or to read for a role or anything like that? What is your piece of advice to somebody starting out?
Well, I think if it's starting out where it's like you're not even getting opportunities to audition or anything, if it's someone who is like sitting at home at their computer watching this and going like, it would be fun to do that job or be an actor or something, but is just terrified or doesn't know how, the first and most important thing to do is just, one, know that you are allowed to have these desires and these joys. It doesn't matter what you look like, sound like, all these different things. There is room and space for you, and your creativity and your heart and your soul and your passions, like, people want to experience them and share them. So if you have this, first off, know that you are allowed to have those wants and desires, and like, we want more of you guys out here. The next thing is more practical, is find an acting class or an acting teacher, or friend. The best thing, I mean, what I did as a kid before it was, doing it in a scholastic fashion and finding acting schools and all that stuff, is get your friends, make some movies. Like, literally, doesn't have to be fancy. Go tell some stories. Like, you've got all this technology you can write a short story, you can, dress up in crazy costumes, you can go out into the middle of, some place in the woods or whatever and shoot a fantasy story and edit that together and learn to get comfortable expressing yourself. Because the biggest thing about acting is you have to be comfortable with being vulnerable and emotionally naked and kind of look goofy and crazy when you're performing, and do that with different people all the time, in different circumstances. And it's important to be more comfortable in your skin and enjoy all of that. So find a space that can let you be you and be creative and open up and be confident and love yourself, and know that the journey is long, and it goes like this.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean you always just do. You can have good days and bad days, and all of that can come back and feed you as an actor.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. This
Thank
was
you so
great,
much.
and your Denji is amazing.
It means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to see you.
Yes, so good to see you.
Have a great rest of the week
Bye.
too.
Yeah, you too.